Hi, everyone. First thing first, happy Women's Day in advance. My name is Addhyan, and I'll be talking about data science journey of Cars.com. So here's a quick agenda. So I'll be talking about a little about Cars.com and a small introduction about myself. Then our journey is starting 2018 and where we are today. And then I'll talk about some of the open source solutions that we have built throughout our journey. And soon after that, I'll take questions. So about Cars.com. So Cars.com is an online two-sided digital marketplace. It's pretty straightforward. You need a car, you go to Cars.com, you try to find or research the car that you would want to buy, and you click submit button. We connect you with the right seller, and that's what we call ourselves. We are the matchmaker between shoppers and sellers. So Cars.com in numbers. So we are 73%. We have 73% brand awareness. So what that means is about 73% of the shoppers who are in the market to purchase a new or used car know about Cars.com. We have been having SEO traffic growth of about 39% year on year. And we have about 25 million users monthly. That converts roughly into 50 million visits monthly. And we're also #1 app on iOS and Android. About me, I lead the applied machine learning efforts at Cars.com. I graduated in electronics and communication engineering from International Institute of Information Technology, Hyderabad. Prior to Cars, I was leading machine learning efforts at Groupon for about 4.5 years. Worked on consumer lifecycle, engagement scoring, personalization, supply intelligence, demand forecast, and so on and so forth, like different problems, basically. And during my time, I co-authored 3 machine learning papers and 5 patents in the same field. And generally, I'm interested in I would actually start from the right-hand side, so I'm more interested, or I genuinely just love dogs, right? And then sports, music, and finally politics. Very, related to Indian subcontinent, though. So don't ask me about, Trump. All right. So our journey so far, it started in 2018. There was a data science team, but we were sort of using data science as a tool to conduct advanced analytics. So it was not necessarily built into the product that Cars.com is. And that journey kind of started in 2018. So the first thing for me was generally just to understand the business, right? Because it's a 20-year-old company. The business model that we started off with has kind of shifted a little. The revenue model, which kind of talks about how we end up making money, is very different and doesn't necessarily always relate to the business model, because over the time, the company has figured out various growth opportunities, right? And so that's what I did, and I did that for about 2 months. I'm not kidding. It took that long, right? Because while I was learning business, I was also trying to relate it with the data that we have, right? Interviewing multiple people, and really trying to understand the root cause of some of the business challenges we have. At the same time, also learning about the business opportunities that can be derived from data science. I then started just building or forming a data science community. What that means is not necessarily hiring data scientists, right? But just figuring out like-minded people who genuinely believe that algorithms and machine learning can solve a lot of business use cases. So I kind of started doing that. And then we formed a data science team. So we had like about half a dozen people. And we launched like a lot of machine learning products. And over the year, we had tremendous success. So some of the products include, hold on, before I talk about that, let me talk about the team structure. because that was very important to translating my the business knowledge product, right? And then forming a team that kind of helped me scale and solve those business problems. So we basically hired a lead data scientist in all of these fields. So natural language processing, computer vision, recommendation systems, regular ranking problems, and search problems, and then finally, generic supervised learning. So these were like 5 of the core fields that we were working in. And then while working, we started building these common functions, libraries, things that can be shared across all these different verticals to, basically automate a lot of, engineering tasks and, common functions that we use. And then, the data was shared between all these different fields as well. And then finally, we had product at the top. For this particular slide, I'm just going to call product the business because, product was kind of like a bridge between business and us for the entire period of 2018. And so, that was the overall structure of the data science community. Our first big success was the hot car batch. So if you see here, it says there's a 90% chance this car will sell in 7 days. So why and how this came about was actually via a hackathon. So one of the data analysts had an idea that generally consumers want to know, and she learned it by all the feedbacks that we generally get. So consumers want to know how long it will take for a car to sell before they reach out to a dealer and kind of put their offer on the table. And so this created a sense of urgency. It also curated a lot of information and was able to put that into one number. And that gave us about 15% incrementality in engagement and conversion. So conversion was defined as total visitors who end up making connection with a dealer divided by total visitors who visit our website. Not just website, but app too. The other big success was price indicator. We started predicting the true price of a car at which this particular car will get sold if it was to get sold today, right? And actually, our pricing scientist is here, Sean Schuckman. So I'd encourage you all to reach out to him as well. So he built this particular model. Now we had like tremendous number of competitors in our industry. So like KBB is something that hold consumer trust, but we focused not just on consumer trust and transparency, but also the predictive power of the model, right? Because when you're actually buying the car, you want to know to the last integer value of the worth of a car. So we focused on that, and this gave us, again, 10 to 15% incrementality in both conversion and engagement. The third thing that we did was focus on search result page. So usually our default search was highest price first, and we thought that it's 2018. We don't want to do that, right? So we created a search engine. And the best match algorithm, what it does, it kind of connects you to the right car that you'll probably end up buying. And that, again, provided us with 10 to 15% overall improvement in engagement and conversion. So these were like the biggest 3 successful products, entirely end-to-end driven by machine learning in 2018. But it didn't really end there. We created recommendation system because personalization. It generally the model was really the model was so powerful that we ended up creating an entire shopping experience just based on recommendation system. I'll touch base on that too a little later. We also have and still have like 2 million consumer reviews on various vehicles. And millions of reviews on our dealers as well. And so we kind of bring down all that information into these natural language processing driven tags. So what it kind of does is it it boils down a lot of reviews into these simple terms. So for example, this is a car, I think it's a Jaguar I-Pace. So people are, the owners really feel proud about that. So, one of the tag is proud owner. Then again, they think it was worth buying the car. But some of them also felt like there's an electrical problem, right? So the idea was to give like a 360 view of a given vehicle to our consumers. And the engagement on this particular tags were far, better than other products that we had built previously. Following on the lead of recommendation system, we created a tool called Matchmaker. It was like, if you work on recommendation system, there's always this cold start problem. So it was tool to kind of tackle that. What we do is we ask you a bunch of questions. Those are related to your lifestyle, things that you're looking for, and you don't necessarily know the make model that you want to buy. So you answer those questions, and then we start recommending you, cars at a very high level. There's a version 2 that's actually coming. We'll be releasing it this year, so please watch out for that. Now, so the summary of 2018, which was actually a very powerful year for us, was one of the biggest success was actually just building a bunch of libraries so that we don't have to write the same code when we actually scale ourselves from shopping from improving the shopping experience via ML to other part of the business. Then we also started automating a lot of engineering that's generally involved in doing data science. All data scientists had their piece of code in production, which means that we had engineering-oriented data science team, which we addressed in 2019 by having a better mixture of engineering, research, product experience, business, and other fields as well. We delivered 20 consumer-facing products, and over the time we've built more than 100 machine learning models. And remember, this is just a team of 6 data scientists that's doing it without using any machine learning platform, so to say. And then we contributed to 75% of the revenue within first year, right? So that was also a huge win. And we not only guided product strategy, but we kind of created our own data science strategy from product point of view. And that was also another win. So in 2018, so again, when there is success, there is chaos sometimes too, or success can result into chaos in a way that we get a lot of requests from business. And that was the time when we kind of decided to follow the OKR, which is objective and key results. The idea was to have broad level objectives, and a few, generally 3 key results that can be associated with objectives. It also gave us a straight line to how business was working at Cars.com. And we wanted to make sure that we are impacting companies' bottom line directly. We also had a heavy focus on democratization, which means we wanted to make sure that every individual in the company, be it a customer service representative, sales representative, a marketer, they feel empowered by using our tools and the information that we have crystallized for them, right? We also focused a lot on skill development. It's actually much tougher than just talking about it, because we invested about 2 months doing it. My entire team either maintains a couple of folks in the team, or the folks that are already mentored are also mentoring other folks. So there was a heavy trickle effect in this case. And so we spent a lot of time doing that. That is now paying dividend in the year 2020. And then we started scaling our machine learning driven products to sales, finance, customer service, and marketing. The reason it was not extremely difficult for us to do this or scale this fast in all the organization was because of mentor-mentee program. We had good trust, we had good relationships with democratization mentor-mentee program, and also we had like libraries of function that can actually replicate a given model by just changing data a little bit. So there were some learnings as well. What we didn't do well is manage expectation. Everyone in the company thought that revenue would grow 25%, right? Just because we had that level of success in 18, but it was tough to replicate it across different verticals in the company. We could have prioritized our work better to always hit the, or to always impact the short-term thing. The team was generally focused on long-term revenue gains rather than short-term, and I think we could have struck a better balance between the two. We could have been part of the company's strategy, which means that we end up scrutinizing, reviewing the strategy that company had. We could have also influenced the way we measure our success today, which means introducing a framework to formulate KPI, which actually we did at the end of 2019, but I think we could have done it earlier. But what we also did in 2019 was that we released our vision to the company. Today, Cars.com has a data science vision that is not just a single statement. It is a statement. It's kind of like a handbook, so data science function can run in the company even in the absence of data science leadership, so to say. It's a handbook that talks about data science strategy, data science vision, and the exact, a very detailed execution plan of that particular strategy and vision. The other thing that's probably not mentioned here, and we ended up doing in 2019, was actually shaping our company strategy in a way that data science is not just utilized to solve certain business problem, but is the business itself, which means data science is sellable and is directly impacting the company's bottom line. And I'll talk about it in the next few slides. All right, so implemented the strategy to achieve our vision, and this is our vision statement. It's pretty long, but if you all can just give 30 seconds reading it, that'd be great. The idea is to harness information via data that we have, build explainable machine learning systems. This is to, again, developing trust and democratization to an extent, helping us not only solve business problems, but also creating opportunities by making sure that ethics are the top priority, right? So data science generally has like a bunch of principles. It's actually open sourced, so you can actually go and see our principles. Data ethics is at the top, which means if we are working with a team in the company, they have to kind of, they have to respect our principles too. Like, and it's detailed out too. Like in an internal doc, we have mentioned things that we will not be using as an independent variables in some of the models, even though we have access to those data points. And now from driving the business to becoming the business. So in 2020, we are going to be releasing a few products, Metal, Fuel, and Auto-Corrected. Auto-Corrected is, again, a product that we already have. It's patented by Cars.com too. What it does, a dealer can, or a seller can just type in a few things, right? And it pre-populates all the features, optional standard features of a vehicle. But now, the idea is to just take a few pictures, and that's it, right? Currently, dealers actually, you won't believe, in 2020, dealers spend hours writing optional and standard features. That doesn't make any sense, right? We have so much data, we have so much, and the technology is enhanced, and it's very well democratized as well. And I don't feel like dealers should be doing that. They're good at selling, they're good at providing good customer service, and so that's the idea. While we do all these rudimentary tasks for dealers. Again, there are pricing tools that we are building that will be dealer-facing as well. And then finally, some of the research work that we have been doing in the past, because generally the idea is 60% of the team is involved in either working with the business on certain problem, 20% is involved in research, which means long-term and long-term projects only. So things that we are doing today, I don't think they'll be used in 2020 or a scale in 2020. They'll probably be used in 2021. And 20% of the team is actually used in making sure that that regular tasks that we do can all be automated. Things can be scaled and generally improving our data science platform itself. So we're working on knowledge graph. We are working on improving our search. We are also now building a strategy of various departments from the data science point of view. So what does that mean? So generally, just a second. Sales have a strategy. They have a goal, they have a strategy, but how can we translate that business strategy into a well-defined optimization research problem, right? Or a predictive machine learning problem. So that's what we are doing right now. And we are investing heavily in the image processing as a product tool. Our CTO also talked about this particular thing in one of the Wall Street Journal article that he was interviewed. And then finally, whatever we are doing, we generally try to do or keep the community updated about it through tech blogs at tech.cars.com. Please do check it out. I would also recommend checking out Scalabot, which is an open source data science tool that we have built. And if you want to know more information about it, Sean's here, I am here, would love to chat about it as well. Its capabilities and what core problems this particular tool is trying to solve. The plan is to open source our image processing Python library as well. So it's kind of like something built on top of TensorFlow and Keras. But it's built so that you don't have to write a lot of code. Even if you're a product manager, business person, salesperson, you don't need to know coding. So we are trying to simplify it to that level. And idea is to open source it this year itself. And yeah, please feel free to reach out at apandey@cars.com, or product manager Chirag is here as well. Feel free to reach out to him as well, cpatel@cars.com. That's it. Questions?
You're working on the image processing part. By the way, I'm very impressed by the work you have done. Excellent. So for the image processing part, what kind of use cases you can have? So you are like a Cars.com, you can help customers trying to improve the conversion rates, and then doing maybe let's say have a more efficient search engine. That's very understandable. What about the image processing part? What's the use case for yourself?
So the primary use case is actually in improving consumer experience, which means beautifying or making images more relevant to what I'm interested in. Now, as a person, I'm generally more interested in interior design of a car than the outside, right? And so if just by learning, if my website can learn that I'm interested in that and the default images of the, a given car becomes the interior of the car, that'd be great. So things like that, but tagging those images for make, model, features, if there are any scratches, right? Things like that. So all the scratches are generally not mentioned in seller notes, but if we can use it to better guide consumer experience, so that's the primary use case, right? The other use cases are, again, we don't want sellers, private seller or dealer partners to spend hours, just putting basic information about a car. And if those things can be automated, that's a win-win for both dealer partners and Cars.com as well.
Thank you.
So I saw that you had a lot of products pushed out live. And once you push a product live, I think there's even more work to work on. How do you balance, a team of data scientists to do new products versus improving or debugging existing products?
That's a really good question, and that's a hell of a tough job. It's not straightforward. Thankfully, we're also supported by a solid team of machine learning engineers. So like a lot of those, so I'll give you an instance. In the year 2019, we had machine learning system failed for 1 day. For that particular day, the conversions were down 40%, right? And so if I look at the conversion chart across the year, there's that 1 day where things were down. It looks horrible, but that's the value we are driving. But it comes at the cost of the time that our machine learning engineers are investing in building a proper tool. Generally, we as I said, we spend 60% of the time out of total time of data scientists in just building new products and maintaining current products. When it comes to maintenance, it's actually not as tough, but it's not tough because of the engineering team that's actually supporting all of those products. Now, a lot of time I've seen just retraining model is in top of your mind all the time, that I gotta retrain my model on it hasn't been retrained in 2 months. But again, if you can just invest 20% of the time of data scientists automating these rudimentary tasks, things get easier as you scale and as you move forward.
Thank you. And one small question: what's the benefit of open sourcing whatever library that was built internally?
Great point. So when we open sourced it, there was one data scientist who actually built it. Now we have about 4 folks, right, Sean? 6. So we have more folks working on new features of the library from outside of Cars.com. They're not only working to improve it and use it, but it kind of gives us a feedback on whether the tool that we are working on is useful or not. That library is having 200 to 250 downloads a month, and that's not bad, given we don't actually put a lot of marketing or anything like that on top of it.